Welcome back. We are live from the Dignity Health Studios. It's the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Scott Cox. I'm in for the, I don't know what Louis Amistoy is doing today, but think of it as trading up.
I think he's out sunbathing or something, enjoying the late summer
You guys have all done it where you have a car that's not a very good car, and you take it in to get worked on, and they give you a better car. You know, while your car's it happens from time to time.
That's hard to argue with.
Right. Well, why would you even try?
No, I wouldn't. I think it's an upgrade.
Hey, thank you, Mike. At any rate, and speaking of upgrades, holy cow, Blake Bowser's here from Auto Club Famoso Speedway.
Raceway.
Raceway.
You got Auto Club right. That's all that matters.
They do the drag.
They write the check.
Drag racing out there. The bracket racing. The old guys were explaining bracket racing to me during the breakdown. I appreciate that. The pops. Well, what's going on at the track?
That's it. Big bracket race this weekend. This is our Division 7 ET Finals. So Division 7 encompasses, what do we got, about 5 different states coming, and 450 competitors showing up starting tomorrow, actually. So I got to get out and get the track ready.
450 competitors.
Yeah, and that's actually it's a good car count, but it's not as good as we used to have. Our best car count for this race in 2007 was 808 competitors.
That's
amazing. That's a lot of cars to park.
That's a crowded pit.
that's beyond the pits. We had some guys parked on the other side of our racetrack for that race, and down normally we have a heliopad for a chopper coming in. We parked them there. So we had it was spread out big time, but it's still a good race. Still, like I said, 400 and probably 15 to 25, 30, 40, 50 cars. So it's a good race.
How many tracks participate in this?
13, I think we have coming. That it's going to include Nevada, Utah, Albuquerque, Colorado, and California. So yeah.
Individual
5 states or 4 states.
Individual championships as well as the overall track championship. Or
exactly.
team.
The teams will come. Each team is 40 cars. So some tracks will send. Like we have 2 teams. Sonoma will have 2 teams, and then Las Vegas is going to have 1. Phoenix, Arizona sends a team. So they will all compete. So our 2 teams will compete against each other to earn points for the team championship. And then there's individual honors also. If you win on Saturday, there's a huge purse available for that. Cash purse, not a...
Okay. Well,
I knew you were going to ask.
I was.
And then Sunday is what's called the... used to be called Race of Champions. Now it's called the Summit Showdown. That's anybody who ran with us throughout the year, finished in top 5. They get to be in a special race on Sunday. That's how you win your ticket to Pomona for the National Championships, which is coming up in November. So it's a big weekend for a lot of guys.
Big weekend for a lot of guys who... Saturday night racers race 8, 10, 12, 15 times a year.
Yeah, and this is their payday. I mean, normally they will, a Super Pro category throughout the year on a track wins $500. Well, this Saturday it's $5,000. So it's a pretty good payday. Yeah,
that'll get some.
That'll bring them in.
That'll get some cars on the trailers, get them out to the track.
Yeah, that'll bring them in. Then if they happen to win and they win out this weekend, they go to Pomona. They're racing for almost $10,000 when it's all said and done. When they get paid to show, they get contingency, they get the purse there. It's about $10,000. So it's a really big opportunity this weekend for a lot of guys.
So a lot of these on the brackets, are they more than 64 cars? In some of them?
Oh, yeah. We'll run Super Pro, Pro, Sportsman, and Motorcycle. That was my phone just going off, by the way. And Super Pro will have, I'd say we're going to have maybe 80 or 90 cars. Pro will have about 120, 130, 140 in that range right there. Sportsman a little less, about same as Super Pro, and then Motorcycle's probably 50 or 60 bikes. So
we're talking about winning 7 rounds of competition.
You have to go a lot of rounds, definitely. Yeah, you at least got to go some 5, 6, 7 rounds. So it's a lot of work, that's for sure. But the payday's there, and the rewards are great.
As are that's expensive stuff to do.
Certainly, any form of drag, any form of motorsports is really
well,
more.
Right.
It's become, but it's. This is still the guys. This is their hobby. They are not doing this to make a living at it.
Right.
They're just doing this.
Yeah, so
this
$5,000, $10,000 starts to sound pretty good.
Sounds good, but it's like winning the lottery. If you win, a couple $100 playing lotto, you just paid for what you spent the past, how many months doing it.
So this is stuff you do because you really love it. You're not out there.
You're
not out there to turn a profit. That's kind of not the. And if you are, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. No, this is what they do on weekends. This is like somebody else taking their boat to the lake. This is what they do on weekends. They go racing with their family. They're having a good time. So. Hey, glad to have them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of cars. There you go. October 1. Man, really? Is it March meet registration time already?
March meet registration starts October 1. That's correct. So you can, because we'll fill up. By January 1, we will have over 300 competitors already signed up for that race.
300 competitors.
We take 500 total.
What classes are they in?
Everything. Funny car, top fuel, all the way down to our hot rod.
Well, obviously, they had that many.
So,
and September 27th, October 4th and 5th, CHRR testing?
Got some testing coming up. Yeah, we're going to keep on rolling. After this weekend, we actually have the 27th is a Saturday. The 28th is a import face-off, a big import race out there. The following weekend is all testing all weekend. Weekend after that is the ANRA finals. After that is the California Hot Rod Reunion. So we're just going to go all the way from now until November.
And these import races, about how many cars do you have for that?
We get a couple hundred cars for those too. We fill the place up, and he'll have. I say it's a promoter comes in and runs the whole deal. We just do a track rental on that deal, and he'll get a few thousand paid spectators also. So it's a one-day deal. They come in and race and spectate and get out. It's
and what kind of cars do they? Other than obviously, don't say imports.
Most of them are Hondas, and
right.
Some are purpose built. Most of them are just street cars. Mostly all Hondas.
Obviously,
a lot of these guys you'll see running around. They've got their little souped up.
You hear them coming and going.
You can hear them around town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, that's who'll be out there.
Yeah. All right. No,
but
can I race my Avalon? That's what I'm getting at.
Can you? Yeah.
That's why it's got a button.
I know
it's got a button that says sport mode. I'm assuming it's pretty fast. My wife won't let me push the button.
I know you can, but can you? That's the question. Yeah. But hey, you know what? Good for them. They're coming out and they're racing at the track. We love seeing the
not
import.
on the street.
Yeah, that's right. That's
well,
right.
yeah, they're very active
We've all
social
got family
media
and
wise.
kids out there, and we don't want anything to happen. So come out to the track and race out there.
Yeah, I think they have a good time out there. They
do.
You'll see a lot of photos on social media, a lot of comments and stuff. Yeah. So they share what they're doing.
Well, the import racing kind of went through a huge growth spurt, and now it's kind of gone away. So they're really happy to see races that still, welcome them out here, and they're dedicated to just the import scene. This race is so. The racers that come out are really appreciative of having this event.
And they get to have something that they get to work on and take a lot of pride in, and they get to go actually race it in a safe, controlled environment, which is kind of the idea to begin with.
It's no different what we're doing back in the 50s. You're taking a car off the street and you're tinkering with it, and albeit it's with laptops now. They're using laptops to tune them, which is a little different than what it used to be, but it's their version of building their hot rod.
It's just like hot rods. You can look at some of those imports I've seen, and you look at them, they look like they're just, basically rust with some wheels on them.
Yeah.
They go out there and they're sleepers.
And they go out there and run 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. Slicks on the front.
Slicks in the front. That's
hard to get used to.
Yeah, you got to get used to that.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's kids in Tokyo right now with 600 horsepower Priuses.
Yeah.
And they're getting bigger power supplies and bigger batteries and all that, and that's kind of the new thing. Have you ever has anybody ever run an electric dragster at your track yet?
We have had one, yes. That's we were talking about that earlier. It's different. It's really different.
The sound it's the most bizarre sound you will ever hear.
You get to hear what the tires actually are doing.
Right, because who's ever heard what it sounds like when those slicks are trying to get a grip on that asphalt?
Exactly.
You've never heard that before.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you can, it's unnerving.
It's really different.
Yeah, and then about the time you go, what's wrong with that sound? It's gone.
It's gone.
What just happened? Yeah, Don Garlitz ran on his 80th birthday. Went 298 miles an hour, some crazy deal.
He's
in an electric dragster.
And that's what he's always done. He's always taken something, an idea, and perfected it. He's done that since the beginning of time for him. So he'll get this thing to figure out. Maybe that's the future. I don't know. I like to hear and smell and feel the cars, and there's not much there in that area, but that's pretty cool.
You're so busy. You're focused on finishing your season with all these races. What about your sand drag and your project down at the other end?
Yeah, we're still working on it. We've got a brand new guardrail coming for all the. We had to reconfigure the shutdown area because the demand has been just unreal of people that want to come race on that track, and we want the track to open in completely perfect situation. We don't want to have something built here, halfway here, whatever. We want the whole thing to be built completely all the way ready to go. So we are still under construction. In other words, probably this fall. We're in no rush. We're doing this right. We can afford to put a little bit of money into it and let it sit for a bit, but we know it's going to be a good return. So we're just getting there, but it's coming around.
Yeah, Scott will have to get a quad and go out there and
go.
Do a little 100-yard racing
area out there. Yeah.
I don't know how that. I think they look expensive to me. which is a real deal breaker for me at this point. I've already went broke racing stuff a couple of times. I don't think I want to really go down that road again. It does look like a pretty good time, though.
Yeah, no, and there's a demand for it. A lot of folks just can't afford to take off and go, to the coast or where they got to go, and they want to be able to, like people are doing right now here. People are staying home and discovering things to do here. Same with people who can't afford to go out of town with their toys. They want to stay here and race. So,
well, if you look at over there, when you go around the dunes, the drag area is very popular. It's where everybody goes and run their buggies and their quads and whatnot, through the little drag race area and up and down. Yeah. So is this going to be able to run buggies, quads,
everything,
dragsters,
quads, rails, the whole thing. Yeah. And like I say, it's going to be right here in their hometown. They can just show up for a day and go home, not have to go to the coast.
That's a lot better than having to
stay
camp out or stay in a hotel and the whole deal. Because those dang quads are expensive enough on their own.
Exactly.
I was over there last weekend. I was watching some of those guys you were talking, and there's some money is no object people out there. I saw a guy with a dune buggy with a 911 turbo engine. That didn't come cheap. I saw other guys are running Corvette engines, Subaru engines.
Yeah, you go out there and look. There's $7,500,000 buggies out there. They belong out in elsewhere.
The Glamis crowd still. They are at Grover Beach.
Well, that's why we had to change our shutdown. We now have 1,100 feet of runoff for all these guys. So plenty of room for these guys to slow down and be safe.
Nope. Good for you guys for doing it right.
Hopefully, we're going to find out.
We'll find out. I have a feeling it's going to go just fine. How much sand do you have to import for something like that?
Actually, it's not even sand anymore. We just use dirt. It's
regular old dirt, regular old fairground dirt.
And our dirt out there has got so much clay in it, natural clay, that a lot of guys are really impressed with what we have so far out there.
And it probably gets better grip than sand does.
You bet.
Run much better tires, too.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, got it.
Best of luck the rest of the year. Got a lot of irons in the fire, pal, but he's a high-energy guy. I think he'll be able to keep up with it. Blake, thanks. Blake Bowser from Auto Club Famoso Raceway. Make sure we get that right. We'll be right back, Dignity Health Studios, right here at California. And it's Bago Motorsports Power Hour. I got that right.